A computer virus. What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the inside of a computer. A computer. What does one of those do? I guess the beer isn't the only part of this honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several million. Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glen Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money. You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program. Exactly. Oh, I get it. So they were literally about to exchange the CD when he won. He won the money. And he's like, fuck yeah, I'm not giving you that CD. Here, you can take the lottery ticket instead. And he's like, I don't want that shit. I want the CD. So he killed him, and he took the CD instead. And he left the lottery ticket. At $500,000, that shit's worthless compared to the millions of dollars that other thing was worth. Though honestly, I think in that case, they'd still take both. But that's just me. In fact, maybe hiding the whole scenario, that was going to be the reward to Mr. Armstrong to pay back his loan. Ooh. The witness may have made poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Wright. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money on the tune of $1 million? Well, that's because Viola's medical papers. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. Where did you get all that info? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full. $1 million. A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. No one would pay a bill like that. When the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Ow. Order! You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright. Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Yeah-huh. Bruto Cadaverini, my boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger until you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elk's life to pay your debt. Get fucking shit on. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, not $10,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would have preferred to say never happened, but he can't. Neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 in the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. Called it! At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glen Elk and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elk, while Viola Catarini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we had all heard testify to yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Damn, son. Like I said, Wright, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept out of it. Oh, wasn't he? But Mr. Armstrong knew all about it. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Gatto? That Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Damn, we got him. What are you gonna pull out of this one, huh? Order, honorable silence. He's put on a good show, Spiky. Spiky? Nobody calls me Spiky! You're supposed to let me win, remember? If you just want to stay out of the little truck business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. What? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright. Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Wright? What was the one trick Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? Well, why don't you have a look at the paper badge then? What on earth is that? I finally get to present it as evidence! My badge! Yes! It took so long, but I finally get to present my attorney's badge as evidence. What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I have ever seen! Ooh, shit, man. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove that the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify? Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was something else, huh? Oh no. Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite here in court, we deal with people's lives. Oh. Mr. Gatto is right. Your Honor, speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question before is the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over the court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far! You say he impersonated Glen Elk? You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to the murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's cup. Gumshoe, please. Ha! Gumshoe. Sucks to be you, right? I need to say that more often. Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled. You just got that? All we managed to do was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting to him in his own gill. Ha! Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence, Gumshoe. Gumshoe! Gumshoe! One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. Gumshoe! 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 This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre. Gumshoe! 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 Your Honor, sir. Wait! Gumshoe! The detective! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. Look. What? Oh, you better believe it is. January 8th, 2:48 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal. From this medicine bottle. Oh, so, do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigre's paw prints, alright. That's great. We've got them now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe's got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say this, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on the bottle now. What? Huh? Why? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Oak's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This is our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Violetta? No, it's Maggie. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie! You've been working hard on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we could do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. God damn it, it's back in the 4th menu again. Well, January 8th, 3:04 p.m. Had a good 16-minute break. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you can prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yeah. Don't keep us on suspense, Tribes. Show us. Naturally. You can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time he's gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before, but you lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion. Don't worry, we'll hire a space shuttle to take you to wherever the fuck you need to go. In fact, let's just send you in outer space so we don't have to look at you anymore. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Oh, for fuck's sake, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry, Jan. I just wanted to save the game. Oh, of course he does. Mr. Trite always says this shit. Are you kidding me? What the fuck is this shit? I'm sorry. I just wanted to save the game. Unbelievable. I swear we should take points every time he does that. Oh, what's he doing now? Oh, come the fuck on. What's this? Is it save states? Is that save states too? I can't believe this. Alright, look guys. It's fine. Save states off the screen. Just continue. Present the final decisive piece of evidence to the court. Alright, Gumshoe. It's all riding on you. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victims? Your Honor, naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle, but... Excuse me. Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway? A phony trial? A phony lawyer? Phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... Ah, shit. Well, hold up. Alright, let's think about this. What are my options here? Mr. Armstrong's oils. Well, it would contain that because it has no smell. The victim's ear medicine would hypothetically have a smell. Maybe. Could it contain the cyanide? But this contains cyanide too. Let's give it a try. This is the bottle containing the potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You make a good clown, you know that. What? Yous ain't never gonna coot to the stick. Yous just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that is gonna fool the Tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix, Wright? That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the Tiger or you're gonna get you ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. Oh, really? Would you care to repeat what cheap brown glass the cyanide was in? You are fucked, dear sir. Got him. At last. What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle... Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints in that bottle. Don't let that cozy-looking soup fool you, people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Gato. Tell him the guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You just don't know who you're messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped-up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with the phony lawyer. It was all played out by you. The biggest phony of all. God, I sound like the ultimate Holden Caulfield impersonator right now. We're all phonies. Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. Excuse me? What? What's going on? It looks like a blackout. He threw the coffee at me. Well done. Tried. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Why? Savor it. While you watch your cage prey. And that's a victory. Right. You caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. The prosecution will for sure take care of Mr. Tigre. Won't you, Mr. Gatto? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glenelg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Mrs. Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yeah, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the Tiger made one fatal mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue and those meddling kids behind the corner over to the right side of the courtroom. For you, Tigre is truly a frightening criminal. The truly frightening one. Actually, it's the left side of the courtroom, my bad. Well, left side from the judge's face. But right side from, like, the entrance. Is that the defense attorney over there? Gatto. Well, I'm in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendants, Maggie Bird, not guilty. Kick ass. That is all. This court is adjourned, and we have about 3 fucking people to take into court now. Aw, poor Viola. I feel really bad for her. I also feel bad for Mr. Armstrong. Not the Tiger, though. He can go suck a dick. Where the hell's my Dr. Pepper at? Alright, we're good. Well, that was really fucking well executed, Ross. Nice pat on the shoulder for that one. 4:20, blaze it in the morning. That's what time it is. Alright. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the Tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony, then? Uh-huh. Oh, well, I was, well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me. That's why. He thought I might have done it. Got to prove to her Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Some day-old seafood. Or, not seafood. More like a lunchbox. Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with tons of love. He said you lost weight and he was really worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? Aww. So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. The one thing Gumshoe can do well is cook. It's so fitting. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Question mark? Chapter 3. Recipe for Turnabout. The end. Oh dear, what do we have this time? Turnabout Beginnings. We in there. That was well executed, Ross. Holy shit, that was so fucking good. Those were, like, mostly easy. I don't know. Just, like, that whole section there just felt natural. Like, I could answer all the questions. There was a couple bullshit parts. And I wouldn't even... No, I wouldn't say bullshit. I'd say there were a couple parts that were tricky. There was the part with the whole, pressing the CD. That was a little bit weird. Like, I didn't think I had to press the CD. I had to press something completely different. The part where I had to tell that he couldn't see the victim... because it was explained that he walked through the door. That was a little bit weird because of how it was worded, but not terrible. Overall, I did pretty well. Like, not too many mistakes. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as some of my court cases have been. So with that, we have finished up Trial 3. When we come back next time for more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, we're going to be doing Turnabout Beginnings. Oh wait, did we get a picture here? Oh, we get Maya. We get Maya in her costume. It's pretty sweet. Picture looks all weird, but hey, Got some nice legs. So, when we come back next time, for the next trial, shit's gonna get wild. I'm assuming this is where we're gonna get a little bit more about Gato. We have not gotten our old bag of the year. We have also not gotten our lot of heart. I don't know if they're gonna show up. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who else haven't we gotten lately? I'm assuming that... I'm not sure what happened with Viola. That just sort of ended. It had no conclusion. She was part of it, and then it's just like, whatever. So I don't know if she's going to come back. I don't know. There's a couple things that could happen with this one. I have no idea. I could look right now. I could take a peek at what's going to happen next episode. And I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to do that. What the hell? Let's take a peek. Just a small peek. Let's look. The girl. Let her go. What the fuck? Shut up. Come closer. Ooh. Got some film grain going on. Mia, stop killing people. Ooh. Reading through a file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fe. Whoa! It was. Terry Follies. Kidnapping, murder. Sentenced to death penalty. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. We captured her on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after her escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. So that's what she was saying. Wait. Am I going to be playing as Mia? No way. No fucking way. I am! Oh, that's a good place to end off. When we come back next time, guys, we're playing as Mia again. Kick ass. See you guys for that next time. Have a good one, y'all.